when I lived up in Decatur, it was pretty much my teenage years. I was going to this one church that's called Central. It was called Central Church of Christ, but then it changed its name to Central Fellowship. Then I think it's now like Trinity Fellowship. Part of the reason why they've changed their names a few times is probably because like a year before I moved away from Decatur, one group of people wanted to get the church to move in a direction to attract the younger crowd, which I agree, because without the young people, churches are going to die. But so one group, I guess, wanted to keep it like keep the tradition of the Church of Christ. And after I moved back to Fort Worth, I went up there to visit one of my friends. And my mom and my friend's dad were sitting there talking together about how they could give some of the younger people a bad taste in their mouth, seeing a bunch of people from their generation and older bickering with each other about which direction to take the church. Because they can't make up their mind to try to attract the young people or keep it the traditions of the Church of Christ, no musical instruments and stuff like that. Decatur's I don't know how Decatur is like now, but like I said, about when I was a teenager, it was basically known for church splits. Which is, it's never good to be known, have a town that's known just for splitting, because people can't but heads of what how to worship God and what direction it should be taken into, and whatever all the other problems that they have. And yeah, at times I do miss living up in Decatur and going to that one church, but I think that I want to say probably about that last year of that going to that church, I was having problems with this one woman. She's old enough to be my mother. And the only reason I know that is because one of her sons was like 4 months older than me. The problem I had with her is she would always grab my arm and tell me, come on, my name. Which creeped me out, because she's first of all, she made me feel like she was playing Mrs. Robinson with me. Two, she has kids the same age as me, and she's married. That's why I viewed it as creepy. I think that's part of the reason why I let my hair grow out long, is my hair out long and grow a beard, is to try to prevent some of these people to the older generations not like find me attractive, because I I don't. First of all, the reason why I want to date older women is because I don't have like mommy issues. So she was trying to tell me that I should get a haircut and shave so I could preach the word of God to people. But and when she said that, it started getting me to think about stuff. And then because I didn't want to, I was telling her, if it's my job to go out and preach the word of God to people, it's your job to go. Why don't you go with me so you can teach me how to preach the word of God to people? Because it's your job as my elder to teach me how to preach the word of God. She says, no, you need to go out and preach the word of God by yourself. By my understanding, from some of the sermons I've heard, from what some of these preachers say, was it's easier to go out and preach the word of God when there's two or more witnesses, because people aren't think you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Where if you're out preaching the word of God by yourself, people think you're cuckoo. I'm trying to have to be careful with my language because YouTube likes to demonetize things. And because I didn't want to get the haircut and shave and do what she wanted me to do, she said, I'm not welcome at her house anymore. And of course, I told them, as this was in the process of, after it happened, and I was just telling my mom the reason why I'm not going to her house anymore. And my mom agrees with me when I say this. It's hard, like I was telling my mom, some people could actually go out and preach the word of God to people. It's easy for some people, but some people it's hard because some people just are more charismatic and can easily talk people into doing stuff. And I told my mom, take that time we were at Cartan's shoes, and you were eyeballing a pair of sandals that had different colors on it, like something like I think it was like a pink and red and green and gold and certain other colors on it. I told her, I was whispering into your ear saying that screams by me. And that would go good with different types of clothing because of the color on it. And I told my mom the only reason why it was easy to talk you into buying those shoes is because you were already wanting the pair of you were already wanting the pair of shoes, so I was just giving you like a little nudge towards that direction. If I could try to go out to preach the word of God to somebody that doesn't want to hear somebody preaching the word of God to them and stuff like that they can not listen to me. And I told my mom another problem, I think the reason why people aren't going to listen to me at 18, 19, 20 preaching the word of God to people because so many of the older people in the older generation seems to not listen to the younger generation because they think, I'm smarter than you, I have a college degree, I got a good paying job, I'm not going to listen to y'all young people because I think y'all young people don't know anything because y'all don't have any life experience. So it's hard to sit there and preach the word of God to anybody when I'm young. Yeah, there are some people that are easy to, at 18, 19, 20, that can talk people into stuff, but that's because they're more charismatic. And to me, it made me feel like, because between her being so lustful at making me feel like she fantasized about sleeping with me, and I feel like she wasn't really a real Christian because she doesn't want to go out and preach the word of God to people. I told my mom, got me to think, how many Christians actually really believe in a God, or are they surface level Christians and they just say they're Christians, but they're not Christians and whatnot. And then of course I was starting to have, after I moved here, I started having problems with this one family. Up in Decatur that lived out in Seven Waters. It seemed like the only time they called me was just to sit there and want some free labor, free work, or try to hit me up for money, and complain that I'm have a bad attitude every time I call them because they expect me to call them. But see, the problem is with churches, I think the thing is with churches, people in church needs to, with the Central Church of Christ, got me to think: do people go to church to hear the word of God, or do they go to church just to socialize? Or do these people that do go to church, how many of them are really, deep in their faith, or how many Christians are just surface level Christians? Those hard questions. It'd be nice to have somebody to talk to about those hard questions of how many people that sit there and say, I believe in God, I'm a Christian, are really Christians or not. That's something that got me thinking about involving all the stuff going to Central Church of Christ. And and of course, when I told my mom about that one woman told me that she's not finna let me over her house again because of my long hair and beard. She says she's not a good Christian, saying that you're not welcome at her house anymore just because of the long hair and beard. And the reason why I had the long hair and beard was because of her. What am I, at 18, 19, what am I finna say? The reason why I have the long hair and beard is because of you. Because so many people seem to be offended and get so offended and upset if on what you say. And that's the reason why I think people will talk about people behind their backs, is because people are so sensitive nowadays. They get upset. That's why I think the reason why people gossip about people behind their backs, talk bad about them, say all this stuff about people behind their backs.